Hey guys, welcome back to Win and Bet Picks. My name is Gio and I'm here alongside Luca, and we're back here again for yet another free pick today, December 30th, 2020. We got some NBA action tonight as the Brooklyn Nets are hosting the Atlanta Hawks at the Barclays Center. Just before we get started, we would like to remind our viewers to drop a like on this video if you're enjoying our content and subscribe to Win and Bet Picks for daily sports betting videos as we post daily videos covering all major leagues. Luca, just a few words before we get started on yesterday's game. Unfortunately, it was one of the most embarrassing and disappointing picks we've had on the channel so far. Of course, completely out of our control. In no way in mind were we ever gonna think about the Heat dropping their second largest loss in franchise history. Of course, we have to pick that game out of all the games. But yeah, it was just a disappointing game from start to end. These are the sort of games that we have to sort of take into consideration, of course, as we always look back and try to see where we went wrong. But it's one of those games that seems to be, the outlier in the pack. So obviously, we want to end the year strong, guys, for you guys as well. 2 days left in the year. Let's get it done. Got a big one tonight, Luca. We got the Nets against the Hawks. Of course, the Hawks coming into this one undefeated, 3-0 start to the season. Couldn't ask for a better start. And they're going to be facing this Brooklyn side that is coming off two consecutive losses. First against the Hornets on the 27th of December, and then a day later against the Memphis Grizzlies. Of course, a lot of emphasis has been put on these Atlanta Hawks for the start of the season. Trae Young has been absolutely phenomenal so far with averaging 34 points a game so far in these first three games. The guy has been the story of the team, really, if you ask me, so far this season. But we also have to look at this net side that they're coming off two straight losses. After picking up two straight wins to start off the season, it'll kind of look like the best of starts. Um, Now, it's important to mention, of course, that in the past couple of days, the Nets have decided to give their two main players a rest, and that is Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, which it's there's a lot of games in this condensed season, so you might expect day in and day out for some of these players to be rested, especially when they're playing too many consecutive games. That's exactly the case that it was against the Grizzlies. They still kept it tight. They brought it to overtime. I was really surprised that without their main two pieces, they were still capable of keeping the game close and possibly winning it. Unfortunately, they ended up losing it in the overtime. But just to show you how this team is still gelling well together. As for the Atlanta Hawks, really, it's been quite an easy ride so far, I guess you can say, for the start of the season. Like I said, three straight wins. But we also have to take a look at the sort of opponents they played. They played the Bulls, the Grizzlies, the Pistons. You know, Usually not sort of the sort of teams that you would put on the same page as these Nets. Um, Overall, we're expecting a high-scoring game, I guess we can say, with especially the Hawks, mainly an offensive-minded side. I'm very curious to see how they, put up against this Brooklyn Nets side that usually plays well defensively, like we have seen so far this season. What sort of game can we be expecting here, Luca? Can the Nets finally bounce back after those two consecutive losses, or do you think the Atlanta Hawks will continue, based on this season's results so far?
I think the Nets are in a great spot to bounce back. Most importantly, though, these teams both have misleading records. As you said, Hawks are 3-0. However, they have faced some weak opponents, and the first real test will be tonight against the Nets. And on the Nets side, we've seen Steve Nash manage the fitness of his two superstars, and maybe this is why they had a weaker side against the Grizzlies. They dropped that game, so with them rested tonight, they should be ready to go, and I'm looking for them to have some great performances. This Hawks team is all about Trae Young. At this point, he's an established star, and the when you factor in Rajon Rondo, just such a veteran presence, his experience to this team is going to be so valuable to a relatively young team. Hawks are actually leading the NBA in scoring after 3 games, but yet again, this may be due to a favorable schedule. As of now, Clint Capella is listed as probable, and if he plays, he's going to have a big role tonight on the defensive side of the ball to try to stop Kyrie and Durant. Not having him on the court is going to be a major blow, so we've got to keep an eye on him. A loss to the Grizzlies, as we said, for the Nets, understandable without their superstars. When they've played, they've looked amazing. Irving has looked great, hitting 61% of field goals and 56% of threes. So he's back in prime form with Durant right next to him. This high-powered offense of the Nets is going to be a lot to handle for teams, and I predict they'll finish at least top five in scoring in the NBA come the end of the season. Losing point guard Spencer Dinwiddie, though, is going to hurt this team. However, the Nets still have a ton of depth, and they should be able to cope without him. Lavert and Harris are wonderful secondary players to Durant and Kyrie's superstar power. And ultimately, to wrap things up, I would say a well-rested Irving and Durant are going to be too much to handle for this Hawks team.
I think so as well. These are two guys that are coming off some well-deserved rest. Of course, it is still early season, so some people might think, why do they need a rest so early, right? Well, like we said, we are expecting to see a lot of that, I think, throughout the season, not only with the Nets, but also with other teams. So very important to, take a look at news, take a look at the most recent probable lineups because these things could change from day to day. That's one tip I could definitely give out to you guys. Before making your bets for this one, there's obviously expectations that both will be playing in this one after being rested the other night. So yeah, I fully agree with that, Luca. And this line opened at -6.5 point favorites for the Nets. Then moved to -7. But yes, we are going with the Brooklyn Nets -7, hoping for them to bounce back after a two-game losing streak. And I think the Atlanta Hawks, given the amazing start that they have had so far to the season, will finally drop their first game tonight. So let us know what you guys think in the comments section below. We are definitely interested to know what you guys think about this matchup, or if you're personally looking at any other matchup in the NBA tonight. As always, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoy our content and subscribe to our channel for daily sports betting videos covering all major leagues. As always, we'll be back tomorrow for yet another free pick. Until then, good luck with your bets and have a great day.